What's up guys, I'm PawsBuild and welcome back to our Ethical Zoo franchise mode series in Planet Zoo. In the previous video we continued the Africa section of our zoo and made a huge multi-species habitat to house the dromedary camel, the Dharma gazelle and the scimitar horned oryx, and they're all living together very nicely now. And in this video we're gonna build a colossal habitat that's gonna house loads of African species. So I cannot wait to start. Unfortunately, the rain is coming down quite heavily on this habitat, but look at these guys in here. They're so cute. I love it. They're just sharing a habitat so peacefully. I'm really enjoying the mixed habitats that we've done in this series. And look at them, stood on the hilltop. These guys seem to be very happy in here. Oh, they've got a bit of a broken solar panel, but the mechanic is apparently on their way, so they will be there shortly, I'm sure. Let's take a quick look at our staff, actually. I'm trying to, like, train them up as often as possible, and I think we are getting there. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm going to pause. We've got fighting with the cheetah habitat because the babies have grown up. That's amazing. Okay, let's release the babies into the wild. Well, the fighting isn't amazing, but... The having babies is amazing, and them growing to adult age. That's perfect. Right. Getting loads of credits for these as well. Doing our bit for the wider environment, and this is the one that's fighting with their mum. No, not having any of that. You're going to be released, which just leaves the 2 adult cheetahs to breed in here, which is perfect. See, we've had another bit of fighting over here due to overcrowding. In the platypus habitat, we have exactly the same thing. What I'm going to do is get the 2 young... In fact, I think they can have... Right, this is definitely the young male. I think it's the young adult here. I'm going to release them to the wild. I don't think this is related to the other one. Yeah, it's not. Which means that all of these in here are not related to each other because that was the youngest one. So they're okay. It was just that the male, there was a baby male that had grown up. And then we've got the same thing in the red-necked wallabies. Again, these are breeding like crazy. And that's amazing because we want them to be. What I'm going to do is just take all of these young males and females down here. Probably of this age in the young adult section. And then I will release all 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think they did all of them. Let's go again. 6. There you go. We're going to release them. I just had loads of notifications pop up. So I think that all the babies have matured and the game is telling us, like, you need to sort it out. Right. There's too many in here. I think that's because of these. I'm going to release them into the wild. I can't remember with the Babirusa what the requirements are. Let's have a quick look at the Babirusa. It's 1 male and 4 females. So let's get rid of the second male as well. And then finally, I believe it was just the Saiga, and that is a lot of fighting, but a lot of notifications that we've gotten rid of. So, I mean, this is going to happen when they get older, and it looks like it's all males now because the females have passed away from old age. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release this male here, and I think... How old is this one? 3.6. Oh, they're all quite young. I think they must all be brothers. Right. I'm going to take this one. Release this one. Are you related to the others? No. Okay. Okay. That's fine. We have a male and a female. And then we'll just get some more Saiga. So they've got more population in the zoo. It looks like there's loads of females. I don't know what their requirements are. Let's have a look. 1 male and 10 females. So let's just get the females from here, seeing as we have our male. And those 3 are absolutely fine. Send them to quarantine. And when they've been through quarantine, they can get added to the zoo. And then that way we've checked that they haven't got any diseases or injuries before they enter the zoo. Now, I'm very excited for the next habitat in the zoo because we are going to make an enormous African habitat over here. I cannot wait. So... let's get our barriers out and plan out where we want to go. I'm thinking probably best to use the same barrier design that we have in the rest of the Africa section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a section of barrier here where we've decorated it all up from this side. And I'm going to take a straight panel section here, not a glass one. And then I'm going to add this into the habitat. Let's put this on the corner here. And then we've got a piece of habitat. And now we just need to have a glass one. And then what we can do is, instead of building the habitat all the way around and then decorating it kind of like one by one, we can duplicate these pieces, and we've already got them built up, so it just saves so much time. Now if we exit here, we should be able to add this to the group here. And it's not aligning, which happened again in the last video, so I don't know why that's doing that. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to build this one piece manually, and then we can go from there, and we've got our 2 separate pieces, which fit nicely together. There we go. We've got both pieces now, and now I can duplicate them around and make the whole kind of barrier around this habitat where we need it, because I think around here there are some cliffs as well that we can kind of leave. I don't think they're going to be able to get off the cliffs, so we probably don't have to put barriers on that side, but we'll have a look and see what we need to do. Okay, I think that is a barrier along the whole of the outside, and then all of the terrain should be cut off on quite a steep cliff here. So my hope is that this will work. We do need to put actual like in-game barriers that the game will recognize. So we need to use the wooden habitat gate to have an entrance to it. And I want to have this close to the keeper hut over here. So I think I'm going to put the habitat gate maybe here and have animals enter on this side. Does seem quite far. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it here, and then at least they've got better access into the habitat as well. I think this is actually a better call. So I'm going to put this right in the middle here, about here. And then we're going to connect it up with a staff path that's going to join the rest of our path over here. And we could, yeah, we can join it from this side. It can just be a straight run that way. And we can even delete this little path and have that join on. Not there, though. About here, like that. There we go. And then only staff are allowed on this bit. And this should be good. We do just need to go, so edit barrier, and then change this to be null barrier. And then I'm going to put a layer of null barriers all the way around the outside of this. This is such a huge habitat. I don't think I've ever built a habitat this big before. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to need null barriers, and we'll go all the way outside, and then we'll tidy up the door so it doesn't look strange and like there's a door in the middle of a glass panel. There we go. Okay, hopefully this works. Yes, it does. 62,000 square meters. This is an enormous, kind of obscene habitat. When you look at this one habitat and compare it to the rest of our zoo, that is crazy. Okay, this is enormous, and I hope that they appreciate it because they have just a crazy amount of space. What I'm going to do as well, I've just noticed, I'm going to smooth out this area here so that they can run up this section too. Okay, this is absolutely enormous. Hopefully the animals appreciate it and we can start putting them in here. So the first animal that I want to get into this colossal multi-species habitat is the Southern White Rhinoceros. And these guys are adorable. Look at them. They're such pretty animals, but they're also near threatened, so we are going to be breeding them in this zoo. Now, we can have one male and up to 4 females. It's not a 1-1 situation. We have 1 male and up to 4 females. So let's have a look at what's available in the animal trading. And before I forget, we should probably also look for our oryx, as we couldn't get a male before, and it looks like there's 2 here now. So I'm going to adopt the better looking one and send to quarantine. And then we can start breeding our oryx as well in our previous multi-species habitat, which looks literally tiny now. And it's a massive habitat, but it looks tiny compared to this. Let's have a look for the Southern White Rhino. Now we've got our oryx. And it looks like we've got loads of males. So let's have a look. There's only 1 page. So we're just going to find 1 male that we think is the best. I'm going to sort them by appeal. And this is the most appealing one. Genetics wise, but I'm going to look for traits that we're interested in as well. Like, I think fertility is a key one, but actually they're the same fertility. This one is a bit younger. I think I'm going to go for the younger one. Now let's just check again how long they live, because this one's already 15. They live to be 43. Oh, he's fine. Okay, they live to be 43 and they can breed until 46. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess they can live longer, but it's not fertile until death. It's fertile until 46. There's a hard cutoff there. But they may not live to that age anyway. But if they do, they definitely won't be breeding past 46. Okay, they can breed from 5. So as long as they're 5 years old anyway, they're fine. I think I'm on board with getting this male. Where are they? The 15-year-old one. I'm going to send them to quarantine. I'm going to hit play as well, as all our other animals that we've said send to quarantine haven't actually gone. So these are all going, yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's just alerting us that these were bought for cash, so they can't be released to the wild. But other than that, all 5 of these animals are going to go through the quarantine here. We need to let the game run, and unfortunately, we've got such miserable weather while we're doing this. But it is a joyous occasion, so don't let the rain bring you down. And just as I say about that, the rain stops almost at once. It's like I have powers. Okay, cool. I'm a fan of this. Oh yeah, we've transitioned into cloudy weather. Okay, so as well as the Southern White Rhino, I would like to get the African buffalo. And these guys are awesome. They are also near threatened, so we do need to be breeding them. Now, how many live in a group? 3 to 15, 1 male, up to 14 females. Okay, so again, it's one of those situations. 1 male and then a bunch of females. 14 is a good size as well. They live to 22, so that's what we need to keep an eye on. And they can breed until 20. So as long as they are of reasonable age, it should be fine. Okay, these females here are probably all fine. Yeah, let's grab all 4 of these females. And we can refresh the list and see if we get any more. No, any more Southern White Rhino? Just males, okay. Okay, well, we've got quarantine passed. Let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to send all 4 of these into the same quarantine. And it looks like the quarantine's passed. So the oryx, our male oryx, I'm going to move into the camels, gazelle, and oryx habitat. And he can finally start breeding. And then the Southern White Rhino, I'm going to move into habitat 52, which I'm going to have to rename to Rhino and Buffalo. Although we are going to have more animals in here. We have plenty planned. Looks like our Saiga are also passing quarantine. So let's move both of these into the Saiga habitat, which hasn't been renamed. How interesting. Okay. I'm going to rename that now. This should be Saiga. If I can spell it. There we go. Oh, I think the third one. There were 3, weren't there? I think the third one's just passed. Okay, let's move you into here. And then the last one's just passing. Okay, the last one's in quarantine, so we'll move them in when they've passed. It looks like our caretakers are coming with the boxes as well. So this is our scimitar horned oryx and our rhino. Very exciting. And they've got a long way to go because they've got to bring them all the way down here. And it may even be quicker to use the other quarantine. I don't know. Basically, there's no quarantine on this side of the zoo. So there's a bit of a long run whenever you want to go to quarantine, or, you know, when there's a new animal. I'm going to see if there are any more rhinos or buffalo just periodically, just because I'd like to get the group numbers we want. And there's some more females, so let's grab these 2 females. They're a little bit better genetically, and move them into quarantine. And then I believe our animals are arriving, so let's quickly head on over there. Who is it first? Is it? Oh, it's our scimitar horned oryx is coming in. Look at him! Wow, look at those horns! That is a very, very handsome young man. He shall be very happy here. I believe he's got 9 females in this herd. So he can get busy and start getting us some babies. And our male is here. Look at this. Our Southern White Rhino male. They're huge. Wow, okay. Very, very cool. I'm getting a bunch of alerts now because we need to add this into the work zone as well. So let's put this into our Africa work zone. And also into our zoo work zone. There we go. That's sorted. I'm going to move our final Saiga back into their habitat. And I'm also going to move the African buffalo that have passed quarantine into this habitat to be with our new Southern White Rhino. At the minute, he's all on his lonesome. I think they're okay in a group size of 1, but he doesn't want to be on his own. Now, he is going to need more soil and less long grass. So let's have a bit of a play around with the painting and think, where does the Southern White Rhino probably want to live? I imagine, let's have them over here somewhere. We're going to put some heavy soil and kind of paint in some more soil in a bunch of different areas, but particularly over here. We're going to make this much more to his liking. Okay, he's now happy. He's got the right terrain for the species, so he should be happy. He just needs a friend more than anything else. And it doesn't seem like there are any available. There's a lot more female African buffalo, but not many more Southern White Rhinos. Just males. Now, we can make a group of males if we need to. Oh, I'm going to pause. Dangerous fighting for alpha status. Who has grown up? Probably. It's not the deer. It's probably the bison, because they're actually breeding. Yeah, these guys are all okay. It's going to be the Vicent. Because we're trying to get the numbers back up, but that means new males, and that means fighting. So it's just this Ivan. It's going to be released to the wild. And we've lost a quokka. Bless them. Well, they will be missed in this zoo. This little guy needs a bit more, though. He's going to need some hard shelter. So let's get in the habitat tab. If we select the Southern White Rhinoceros, it filters to just stuff he's interested in. Then if we go beds and shelters, these are all the beds and shelters that he will fit into. I think we're going to need some massive shelters in this habitat. So I'm going to use the big ones. I think that's enough shelters for now. And look, our African wild buffalo are here. These are awesome. Oh, we had another quokka that's died. Oh my goodness, the quokkas are rapidly leaving this zoo. Now, this little man should have plenty of space. One thing, crucially, I have not done is click habitat and click on him to see if he could escape. But it looks like he can't, and he can access pretty much everywhere in this habitat, which is pretty cool. And then we've got the same with the African buffalo. Now, they can escape. Why is that? Can they... It looks like they can jump. That's a walkable escape point. Oh, no. One of them's done it. Okay, well, that's definitely not good. I don't know why they can walk out. That seems odd. It seems like they're still in the habitat. Yeah. Okay, the game's not quite recognized there's a barrier here, which is a little annoying. I'm going to deal with these one by one. This is a jumpable escape point. That one, I very much appreciate. I think if we put a shelter here, we can block that off. I think that'll do the trick. And then let's have a look again. If we click on our... Oh, I'm in the wrong habitat. If we click on our bison again, our buffalo, sorry, I think that will get rid of that. So recalculating, that's got rid of that one. Now, the only problem is here. They seem to be happy enough to walk out of the habitat, the glass here, which is interesting. I don't know why that is. Then they should be the same strength as everything else, which is strength 4. So I don't know why they can just walk out. What I'm going to do is turn off climbing on all of these walls and see if that fixes anything. Oh, unless they can leap over. How tall can they leap? Okay, if we go on natural habitat. Grade 3, what, taller than 1.25? That is definitely higher than 1.25 meters. I think we've encountered a small issue here. Oh, they're just running through it. I don't know why they're doing that. It may be that we just need to redo the habitat a bit over here. We've managed to find a glitch, unfortunately, over here where these guys are able to escape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them all to the trade center, and then I'm going to see whether we can do something else with them, because this isn't going to work right now. I'm going to see if we can change the habitat up a bit and if that will fix things. But thankfully, our white rhino is having a whale of a time. They're enjoying themselves just fine. They do need some food. That's the thing we're going to need to be careful of. So before I do anything further, I'm just going to make sure that this habitat has the basics in it. So let's put a large food trough in for all of these guys that are going to need it. I imagine we're just going to need large food troughs all over the shop. I'm going to put one in by all of the viewing as well. This is a bit narrow down here. I think a few over here is a good shout. And what I'm also going to do is just hire 2 keepers that are just assigned to this habitat, because I feel like that will be necessary. And I'm going to create a whole new work zone just for that. I'm going to call this work zone Safari, and then we can assign them to that so we know they are doing their job in there, and we can also train everyone up. But yeah, I think we're going to need at least 2 more keepers just to do this habitat. This habitat is always a bit of an experiment because it is absolutely massive. I'm just wondering what we do about the barriers. I'm hoping that if we move the buffalo back in, they won't have a problem. Although I think that might be optimistic. Let's grab the 2 new ones and we'll move them into the habitat and see what happens. Thankfully though, there are some female southern white rhinos, so we can get all of these. It looks like they all look good. Okay, let's grab every single one of them. And we've got a nice little herd together, haven't we? And then we can send all 4 of these into quarantine. And they can go through the quarantine process and enter the habitat, which would be awesome. Now, the water over here should be being cleaned by this water filter. I don't know what they're called. Water filter, I think. Water pump. So this is a massive drinking area that they should all have access to. I'm not worried about any of them not being able to get around the habitat, because all of the animals going in here are quite large and they can cover a lot of distance when they run. So I think this is very accessible for all animals going in here as one massive watering hole. And then we can scatter their food around and they can have a bit more like variety of where that is, but that's kind of up to them. The rhino is going to need toys though. All of the rhinos are going to need toys. And if we go to enrichment, let's put in some of their enrichment for them so that they feel like there's a bit more going on for them. Okay, there is now plenty of enrichment in there for them. They should be enjoying themselves a whole lot. And we can also look at something else we need to keep up on, which is our vet research. Now, we've been doing amazingly on the vet research. We've been getting everything done for all of our animal species. And I think the caracal and the wild water buffalo are some of the last ones in the Asia section of our zoo that we have left to do. So let's get Susie, who's our Asia zoo vet, or she's either on the Asia work zone or the zoo work zone, I can't remember. But she can start working on the Asian small-clawed otter, and we can finish off researching all of the Asian animals in our zoo. And while we're here, I do just want to check up on all of our vets again quickly. It does seem like some people have a high workload, but they are the ones that aren't fully trained up yet, apart from the Africa work zone. Okay, let's get another keeper and assign them to the Africa work zone. And then we can see whether that eases everything for them. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. And I'm hoping that these African buffalo are going to be absolutely fine with the barriers. They're not going to have any issues. Please. Let's go habitat and click on them. No, they are able to just walk through. That is not good. Okay. There we go. It fixed itself. I just moved the pieces. Or I went to move them and then didn't move them. And they fixed. So everything is working perfectly now. Phew, I was really worried about that, but that's all okay. We've also got some jaguars fighting because our babies have grown up. Okay, stop fighting. Oh, wait, no, you're fine. Okay, I'll release you to the wild. Have a nice time. Where's the door? Where's the door? Over here, I believe. All right, where's that other one? Stop fighting. Oh, you're not fighting either. Oh, okay. Well, I'll release you to the wild. Sorry about that. Maybe you were fighting? We've got our adult male and female in here. They're doing absolutely fine. Let's just check on the female in case she was injured or anything. No, she's good. She's good. Okay. We like that. Let's leave our jaguars be. They can enjoy their habitat over there. I'm just going to check one more time that the buffalo are absolutely fine. They are. They're absolutely fine in this section. That is exactly what we want. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to move the other buffalo that we have in storage. I'm going to move all of these ones into the habitat now. Because they've already passed quarantine, we know that they're not diseased or injured, so we can just move them back in as if they didn't leave. And maybe see if there's a male. There is a male. Okay, let's get this male. Right, I'm going to send him to quarantine. I love it. We've already got 2 species in this habitat. That's so cool. Okay, and they seem to be having a good time. I just want to check on their terrain needs. They need more short grass, and they can do with less long grass. So let's just blend in some short grass across the habitat until we hit whatever number they need. Okay, 20%. They are now happy. They also have 100% enrichment. They don't even need anything else. And crucially, they're getting a 20% interspecies bonus because the African buffalo and the Southern White Rhino both share a bonus with each other. So they both love being in the same habitat as each other. And that is absolutely adorable. So of course, we're going to let them do that. Now, traversable area, I want to just check they can access the water. They can. Awesome. There is a huge lake in here for anyone that wants to try it. And we should probably add some bedding into these shelters because they're also going to want a place to sleep. So I'm going to probably leave some of them just as shelters and then have some of them be full-on beds. Now, all of our white rhino females have passed quarantine, so let's move them into the habitat as well. And hopefully very soon our male buffalo will pass and then he can move in with the others. Very exciting. Our babirusa have bred again, or the babies have grown up again. So I'm going to release these 2 so they don't start fighting. And then we've had even more redneck wallabies. So we need to release some of them again also. It's great that we're getting so many babies, but they are a lot to handle. When the zoo is this size, it's like constant babies, constant deaths. I guess it's the circle of life, but it is a lot. I'm going to release a number of them so that we've not got quite so many. There we go. Okay, we've released 17. That should be a good number. It looks like our male buffalo's passed quarantine as well, so let's move him in. It's a bit of a trek to get them in, but they are moving them across because they have to run the long way around. But I wanted it over here because we have our keeper facilities and star facilities over here. So it's nice, easy access for the keepers to do their day-to-day maintenance. And I thought this was better than having it be over here because then the animals get in the habitat and they've got to like go through this whole section. This is a bit of a narrow pass anyway. In fact, I might push this side down here. There we go. That's a bit more accessible. I think I may have messed up the ratios of everything though, so let's just check what everyone's thinking. The buffalo are happy with it, and the white rhino are also happy with it. Is this our male? No, it's a female. Well, I think this must be our male or one of them. No, it's our female rhino. There we go. Of course it is. Awesome. We've got males and females in here. What has happened over here? How have you escaped? Oh, it's a baby. I think it's glitched through. Sometimes the babies don't interact well with the barriers, but it's very rare. It's just because we have a massive zoo with about, I don't even know how many animals, hundreds of animals. And it seems to crop up more. But they're going to go find their future husband, I guess. Off they go. We've had a redneck wallaby die. I'm going to send them, bring them vet to them. I think this habitat looks cool already, though. I have to say, it's got like a few trees. It's got the shelters you can see. The massive pool really draws your eye. But like, it should be quite a cool area. And we need to change the education on the front, because at the minute, this is all talking about the oryx. And we want this to talk about the animals inside the habitat. So I'm going to set this to be the southern white rhino and the African buffalo. And then what I'm going to do is just go around and make sure that the signs are kind of repeating the same message of these animals as we go around the outside. Okay, how did you get out here? That's what I want to know. Let's click on one of our white rhino and see what is going on. Seems like the barriers are having a bit of an issue again. Let's do a same trick of moving them. And see if that fixes it. Yep, it has fixed it. Okay, it's fine. It seems to be just when they go in the habitat. Sometimes they're not recognizing. It's probably because it's such a massive habitat the game is not designed for, really. When they go in, it's having a bit of an issue with them. But if we know the fix, it's not a problem. We just need to be careful with it when we put the animals in. And area-wise, these guys have got 53,000 square meters. They need about 3.5, so they have an enormous habitat for their needs. And same over here with the buffalo. They have an enormous habitat. It's also good to see that the southern white rhino and the African buffalo don't really need any plants. So they're happy with exactly what was like naturally occurring here. And I'm tempted to leave it that way, because if these were occurring naturally, then I'd rather leave the trees there than plant new ones and rip those up and stuff. So I think we'll leave it how it is and say that these guys are completely being served. All their needs are being met as the habitat is right now, which is really cool. And like, I know that they're from this habitat, so it makes sense. They're from the African grasslands. But I love having the game in this mode, and you just make a habitat and you put them in and everything works. Like it's the natural habitat for them. Like that's a good job by Frontier to make the biomes actually represent the landscapes where the animals live. So I'll forgive them for the barriers not working 100%. Okay, these guys are in. I think now we've got them all in, let's learn a little bit more about the southern white rhino. The southern white rhinoceros is a large species of ungulate native to southern Africa, found in South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Uganda, and Zambia. The rhino has two horns, with the front horn being much longer than the secondary horn, and the head of the rhino is almost rectangular in shape with a square snout. The southern white rhino is the most numerous rhinoceros species, and it is the largest pure grazer in the whole world. 93% of the entire population of southern white rhinoceros live in South Africa, so if you want to see some, that's where you need to go. Interestingly, the southern white rhinoceros has a mutualistic relationship with cattle egrets, red-billed oxpeckers, and Cape starlings, which are 3 bird species that remove parasites from their skin. So they're making friends everywhere. Although the southern white rhinoceros has no natural predators, they have been seen with scars as the result of fighting with hyenas. So if you don't want to pick a fight with a hyena, I definitely wouldn't pick one with a southern white rhino. Unfortunately, the southern white rhinoceros is near threatened, but it has returned from the brink of extinction thanks to long-term conservation efforts. This species was reduced to 20 individuals in the early 20th century because of overhunting for meat and sport. Since then, consistent protection, captive breeding programs, and reintroduction to their historical home range has meant that the southern white rhinoceros population has recovered spectacularly. Whilst this is amazing, they still continue to be threatened by poachers who hunt the animal illegally for their horns. The horns can be sold for a high price for use in traditional medicine. So sadly, the southern white rhinoceros is still at risk and we need to keep looking after them. The African buffalo live throughout sub-Saharan Africa, and they are the largest member of the cow family found in the African wild. Scarily, the African buffalo is one of the most dangerous animals to humans in Africa, killing around 200 people a year. Unlike other bovid species, the African buffalo is immune to sleeping sickness, which is a deadly disease transmitted by the tsetse fly. African buffalo have excellent memories and have been known to make vengeful attacks against lions and hunters that have targeted their herd in the past, especially if a calf has been injured. Which I guess feeds into their danger to humans, because they remember if we've wronged them. And due to the aggressive nature of the buffalo, all attempts at domestication as a livestock animal have failed, which is kind of funny as well as it is probably quite tragic. They will not be tamed. African buffalo have a symbiotic relationship with a species of bird called the oxpecker that removes ticks from their skin, so they're also great at making friends. Unfortunately, although the species is not endangered, the African buffalo are still threatened by human activity. Illegal trophy hunting is a regular occurrence, and their grazing lands are being transformed either into farmland or built on by humans. African buffalo can also contract diseases that are spread by domestic livestock, and are also vulnerable to drought conditions. Currently, they're protected in many areas that are assigned as national parks and nature reserves, while sustainable hunting occurs in legally managed zones, but this species is still classified as near threatened. I noticed over here as well, this whole set of the barriers here are just like elevated into the sky for some reason, so we're just going to bring them down to a, normal, non-gravity defying place. And I think other than that, the barrier is good. Now, I'm thinking the rhinos, let's move them over because we can manually move them within inside the habitat. Because this is such a large habitat, I want them to find the male. And I think if we just move them all to the same spot over there, I'm sure they'll do it eventually, but this way they just get introduced really quickly. Whereas the buffalo have kind of hung around the entrance where the male buffaloes come in. I just don't want them to be left on their own when they don't need to. So we're just invoking our god powers to box up the animals and yeet them, for lack of a better word, to the other side of the habitat where they'll reopen and they'll be able to walk as normal and just continue what they were doing on the other side of the habitat. I think that's all of the rhinos we've just moved. I'm going to go into the animal welfare tab and we can see, yeah, these are all the buffalo here, aren't they? Yeah, all the buffalo are over here, and then all of the rhinos are now over here. So we've got our 5 rhinos chilling out together, and they'll be much happier for being together. I think this is the male here. Yeah, he's a bit bigger. So I'm sure he's very glad to see some friends now. But speaking of friends, we don't want to end that there for how many animals we add. We want to get another animal. And the next animal we want to get is the black wildebeest. Now, this animal is the least concerned species, so we're not going to be breeding them. But we can have group sizes of 7 to 60 males or 7 to 32 females. They can breed until death, and they can breed from 4. They live to be 19 years, so we need to keep this information in mind. We're looking for the black wildebeest. And we've got some albino ones, but we don't want them. We just want probably a group of females. Not that female. I'm trying to think what there's more of. It looks like there's more males, actually. But these all seem to be for credits. So I think let's get a couple of females, and we'll have a female group of black wildebeest. We just need to perhaps look at the next page. Yeah, there's more over here. Okay. We can get a few of them adopted, but I just don't want loads. That's probably okay. How many have we got? Okay, let's get this final female. Unless they've refreshed and added more. Yeah, okay, they have. There's 6 females there. What were the group sizes again? They want group sizes of 7 to 32. Okay, so we do need a lot more. Let's get the females here. We've got all the credits. We can afford it. This one we probably don't need. That is a lot of credits. And seeing as every time we refresh, we get more females. Let's sort them by sex, and it's much easier. We can just see females. For now, that is a herd size. We've got 8 of them, so that's above the minimum herd size. Let's send them to quarantine, and then we can see if we want to get more, or whether we leave it at an 8 group size because they are happy with that herd. I think ethically, we probably should get more because the whole point is to give them the habitat that's good for them. And a herd size of 8 is kind of on the tiniest size possible for them that they're comfortable with. So maybe they should have more. They get that kind of safety in numbers, don't they? And while we're adding wildebeest, let's get the blue wildebeest as well as the black wildebeest. And we can, again, these are least concern. We're not going to be breeding them. But these are a much smaller group size of 4 to 20 for females and 4 to 9 for males. So let's have a look at what is in stock for the blue wildebeest as well. Oh, there's one more black wildebeest here. Let's grab her. We'll send her in as well. I don't know what the capacity is for the quarantine in here. I have a feeling it may be 8, but I guess we'll find out when they try and move them in. I don't know whether it says on it, actually. Let's have a look. Capacity is 8. Yeah, okay. So that will be an issue. Right, well, I'm sure it'll be fine, because as soon as one of them's done, we can the last one can go in. But we need to keep that in mind. There's only 8 in each quarantine. Now, the black wildebeest we're fine for. Let's look at getting some blue wildebeest. And again, there's more females here, so let's go for a female herd. We didn't need as many of these. We only needed 4, but I would like to get more than 4 if possible, because I think it was 4 to 20. Yeah, 4 to 20. So again, 4 is very on the low side, isn't it, for them? I tell you what, let's send these 4 to the other quarantine, and then all the way over here. And then we can see what we want to do. Do we want to get more? Do we want to just have the group 4? I think we'll get more, but I'm hoping we don't have to wait too long. Oh no, our Vicent Sumo has died. Bless them. I'll call the vet for that. And the black wildebeest are passing quarantine, so we can already get them out, which frees up that slot we wanted. Let's grab these. And move them into this habitat. Now we can rename this one to be Rhino, Buffalo, and Wildebeest. How do you spell Wildebeest? I think it's like that. It's like Wildebeest. Oh, it's double E. Okay. There we go. And there's some more female blue wildebeest. So we're going to get these females. And that is probably good for their herd. That's absolutely fine. Now there's 8 of them. Let's send all of these to the other quarantine in here. And there looks to be, there's another black wildebeest here and another one here. That's probably good. If we've got 2 more black wildebeest, I believe that takes us to 10. I think that's a good group size. If it was 7 to 20, I think 10 is a reasonable size of herd. Especially when it's quite hard to get them. I think that's absolutely fine. And we've passed adopt and place 6 different habitat species. We've definitely done that. So we've got that one as well. Perfect. Seems like everyone is passing quarantine. So I'm going to move them across to this habitat as well. And they can all go in. Let's going to be quite a lot of stuff for the caretakers to do. And it looks like the caretakers are arriving with the first wildebeest. I believe these would be the black wildebeest from the other habitat, from the other quarantine. So let's see what these guys look like. Look at them. Are these the black wildebeest? Yes, they are. They look very cool, don't they? They're like really furry on top. They've got this huge mane, which is very cool. I'm a big fan of that. They kind of look like horses. I think of wildebeest more of cattle than horse, but they kind of look more like horses, these, don't they? Look at them. Very beautiful animals. And I keep getting alerts, so it sounds like the rest of them are past quarantine. Let's move this one from here into the habitat and check the other quarantine. Yeah, everyone here is passed. So let's move all of them. That's the other blue wildebeest. Move them across as well. There's just one more in here. As soon as they pass, they will all be moved in. Okay, let's move them in. And now this habitat should be filling up. Are these more black wildebeest? Oh, these are the blue wildebeest. Right, okay, let's get the camera on this one. They look very similar. I think they've got a different mane on the top, and they've got more hair under their chin, I believe. But they look very cool. I don't know what they're running to or from, but it seems like they've got everything they need. Terrain-wise, how do they feel? They're happy with it. Is this more blue wildebeest? Yeah, we want the black wildebeest. Here we go. Terrain-wise, they're also happy. Environment-wise, they're happy. What about these guys? Oh no, I'm going to pause. Someone's escaped. Environment-wise, they're also happy. Escape-wise, they are kind of happy, I guess. They've escaped. That is the only other final check, which I should always do, is the first check. Can these guys escape? Now we've added them, can they escape? So the black wildebeest, yes. It looks like they can jump down here. That's such a jump. Or are they coming down here? It says walkable. I think we just need to raise up this section a little bit. Cool, I think that looks alright. And now let's check them. And they can't escape now. Oh, they can escape here. These guys can jump a bit more. So this is a jumpable escape point. What I'm going to do again is I'm just going to duplicate this shelter. I think that should remove their ability to escape. I'm going to see though, because if they can walk around it, they can probably circumvent my plan. No, they can't walk around it. Okay, cool. We just need to basically make sure that each animal can't get out. We don't want them running and jumping off the side. Cool, that is good. And we have one of them here that we emergency captured. They'll be moved back into the habitat. I believe everyone else is A-okay, which is perfect. No one can get up here, though. That is a slight problem. That should do it. They should be able to climb up here now. And they've got that pinnacle, like the view over the zoo, which is all they could ask for. I think they're lacking food enrichment, though, are buffalo. So let's filter by the African buffalo. I thought they had everything, but it seems they have a few different enrichment items. And there's quite a lot of animals in here now. So let's just put a few more enrichment items in that match everyone. Okay, all of them have everything that they want. They've got all the enrichment that matches them. They're 100% on everything. I just want to check that all of them are in the habitat. We don't have any that have been left in quarantine. It seems like both quarantines are empty, which is perfect. Yep, that's all good. And I think our animal storage center is empty as well. Perfect. Okay, cool. I want to check up on the vet research and see how they're getting on. Okay, cool. They finished the wild water buffalo research. So let's get them to do the final Asia research, which is the Indian rhinoceros, I believe. Yes. Carla can start work on that. And then it's all the way over to the Africa section. All of the remaining animals are African, which is awesome. Can't wait. Looks like we've lost the capybara, so I'm going to call the vet for them. And we've completed a challenge. Breed a new exhibit animal. We can claim that reward. I love this. It's huge. Like, the whole area is absolutely massive, which is really cool. They've got everything they need, though. They've got all of the terrain and everything, like the hard shelter. Everyone seems to be really happy and enjoying themselves, which is really cute. Like, it's really hard to do massive habitats with all these animals and get everyone's needs to match. But I think we've got it down here. I think everyone's enjoying themselves. So now they're in here, let's learn a little bit about the black wildebeest. The black wildebeest is a large ungulate species native to southern Africa, also known as the gnu, after the distinctive noise they make when alarmed. The horns of the black wildebeest are significantly larger and heavier than those of the common wildebeest. And both the male and female wildebeest have horns, but the male's horns are longer and thicker than the female's. And I don't think I'd want to get close enough to try and decide who was who. During the mating season, dominant male wildebeest do not eat or sleep, as they are so intent on mating and defending their mates from rival males, which is real commitment. Black wildebeest can run up to 50 miles an hour when running from predators such as lions and hyenas. Interestingly, female groups of black wildebeest are so strongly bonded that they'll be hostile to unknown females that are trying to join their group. Thankfully, the black wildebeest are a least concerned species and are not currently endangered, but they were almost hunted to extinction in the late 1800s, targeted for their meat and leather as well as for sport. Because they fed in the same areas as grazing livestock, to whom they could spread diseases, they were also considered pests. Thanks to reintroduction from captive populations, black wildebeest are increasing in number, expanding their range, and are no longer endangered. So they're kind of a success story, really. The blue wildebeest is a large antelope native to southern Africa. It is also known as the common or white-bearded wildebeest, or brindled gnu. The blue wildebeest are so named because their coat has a blue sheen to it. And they're known to migrate over 1,000 miles every year and cross 2 rivers to do so. And if you've ever seen an animal documentary, you'll know that crossing rivers is very dangerous. Up to 90% of blue wildebeest offspring are all born within a 2-week birthing period, so they really sync up. The blue wildebeest are often seen in herds with plain zebra. The two species don't compete for food though, because the zebras prefer long grass, and wildebeest can then graze on the shorter grasses, so they're kind of like best friends. Not all blue wildebeest migrate. Some female groups form closely bonded resident herds and remain in the same area year-round. Thankfully, the blue wildebeest are not endangered and are considered a species of least concern. However, human expansion does still impact their migratory routes, and deforestation and loss of water sources still threaten their habitat. So although they're doing very well, we don't want to take our eye off them too much. And I think that's probably enough for this video. We'll continue this habitat and expand it even more in the next video. But if you've liked this video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you in the next one.